I must be the only social media consultant in the world who hates social media. Don't get me wrong, I love it when our clients tell me they've generated sales through our training or our management, but I hate the way that social media has taken over our lives. Take going on holiday, for example. One of the things I love most of all is spending quality time with my children. I'd like you all to think back to when you were a teenager about to go on holiday with your parents. Were you most looking forward to spending time with them? No. And neither was my son, Sam, because he was in love with his phone. And there's nothing like a disengaged teenager glued to his phone to spoil a family holiday. So when we arrived at our beautiful friend Gite in the countryside and Sam discovered there was no Wi-Fi and he'd run out of data, we had the last laugh. As the French would say, c'est la vie. Now there's loads of research done into the effects of social media and digital devices on young people. Take one, for example. Research shows that your children who spend an excessive amount of time on a digital device are more likely to have a thinner frontal cortex of the brain, meaning they struggle to remember things. They're more likely to get mood swings. They'll be depressed, they'll be stressed, they'll be anxious, they'll be sleep deprived, all affecting their roles in schools and the relationships they build up. There was a 10-year study that found that girls that spend 2 to 3 hours a day on social media were more likely to take their own lives. 80% of child sex crimes start life on social media. Head teachers like you tell me that 95% of the issues that calls in your school are coming from social media. Again, a massive disruption, a massive pain. So this is why me and my wife set up Positive Social, a charity which goes into schools to help young people take back control of their lives from social media. We challenge them about the amount of time they're spending on their mobile phone, what they're doing on there, and how the effect it's having on their mental health and their self-esteem. Already this year, we've delivered more than 100 sessions into schools, and students realize their lives are being messed up when it comes to social media. They make amazing commitments such as, I'm going to leave Instagram because it makes me feel sad. I'm going to come off TikTok because it's washing my mind. I'm going to spend more time with my family and friends because they're more important. I'm going to leave WhatsApp groups because I recognize I'm being unkind to others. Amazing commitments, but how can we expect our young people to fulfill these commitments if the world around them is constantly looking at their mobile phones? Who here, who of us thinks we spend too much time on our phone and on social media? Nearly everybody in the room. And no wonder that the happiness hormone, dopamine, that floods our brain, even when we just even pick up our phone, doctors liken the addiction to that experienced by crack cocaine addicts. Now, when young people hear that in our sessions, you'll see jaws drop like you've never seen before. When they, like many of us, recognize that we're addicted to digital crack. Now, we can't force our young people down a social media-free path they don't want to travel down, but we can give them the tools, the techniques, and probably more importantly, the permission to change the way they use social media. But it can't just start with us educators. It must also start with parents. So one of the things we do is we run sessions for parents as well, and we give them tips and techniques that they can use to help them crack their own addiction to social media, like having a basket in the kitchen. So when everyone gets home from school or from work, they place their phones in there, and therefore then it's left. It's not being carried around the house at all times. We teach them about phone Jenga when they're out with their friends. If you don't know about that, ask me about that later on. We also say, how about carrying a notebook with you? A little notebook, so whenever you have an idea of something you want to look on your phone and you're really tempted, write it down in it to come back to it later on. And what you'll discover is you really didn't need to know what the follow-up single to Kajagoogoo's Too Shy really was. Or how tall Mother Teresa was. Although, how tall was Mother Teresa?
Mother Teresa was 5 feet.
Oh. I have my own policy in life where I refuse to look at my mobile phone when I'm walking down the street. And what I realize is the birds sing much more beautifully when I'm not staring at a screen. My 9-year-old daughter had a sign outside her door. It said, "No brothers allowed." I thought, fair enough. And then one day it changed. Fed up of me looking at my phone, checking my social media, looking at my emails during the bedtime routine, the sign changed to "No phones." Perhaps it's all time we copied Amy's example. But what is definitely time for us to do is to empower our young people to do the same. Thank you.